welcome. This is the Building Blocks of Bass. My name is Bob DeBoo. Happy Monday. Glad you're here with me. Let's get into it. Today we're going to check out a transcription with amazing bass player Derek Hodge. And this is from If I Were a Bell on Mulgrew Miller's Live at Yoshi's Volume 1. So let's play it. Let's check it out. We've got the transcription downstairs. You want to click on that, you can. But let's give it a listen, all right? So here we go. So this is, he's got 3 choruses coming. Here we go. And then the cat just burns out, swinging right into Mulgrew's solo, his second solo. But that is such a beautiful, killing solo. Here's so much in that just to get started. But hear him quoting the melody, playing with incredible feel too. The way he's even just the first here, even that open G that he's hitting, he's just like a hair behind it, and it's like so killing. So let's get into it. Let's practice a bit of this. I'm going to leave this transcription up on the screen so you can watch it while we do this. But let's shed just the first 8 bars. So we're going to try to get through this whole thing. So I'm going to try to burn through it a little bit. If you want the PDF, you can have it. Just click that link downstairs, all right? But let's let this play, and let's cut it down just a hair, okay? Of course there he's quoting the melody, right? Especially at the end, it's really obvious. Right? Cool. So let's bring in a little metronome. This is a little bit slower than where it just was, and that was slowed down. But play this with me through here. So we're going to do the first 8 bars, the bit that's well, I took it off the screen, but the bit that's highlighted. We're going to do the first 8 measures and just put it on loop a little bit. So try this with me. Well, let's start with the first 2 bars where he's playing in the 2 feel going into the solo. You ready? So this is at the top. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that part is not too crazy, right? He's just getting into his solo. He's building. He hasn't started like whipping out the bad chops, which is like coming up in the next measure. But he's starting off just really tastefully. It's clearly, he's getting into a bass solo. Let's up the tempo just a bit on this. Just try this with me. I'm moving my tempo up to 90 for 2 and 4. Okay, so we're at 180. Of course, it's way faster, but we're just going to take it under today, okay? All right, so let's take it from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, nice. Cool. So of course that's gonna end up going a lot faster, more like around that tempo. But for today, we're gonna dig through it a little bit here. All right, let's get into the next 8 bars because I really do want to move through this whole thing. There's so much awesome information inside of this. So let's take it from here if we can. Put on my little loop here. This one it goes for a little while, so let's loop it from here and see what this sounds like. So he's coming on a G7 chord right here, and this is really hip right now. The part that's highlighted at the top here, he's starting on the 13th, and then he's dipping. Here, just play this little line with me. This is E. So inside of that, and there's a B flat in the key signature, don't miss that. So he's starting on the 13th of G, and then dipping down a half step to get onto that C7. Let's listen to what that sounds like slowed down just a bit. Pentatonic. So just the looping here. Right, and so that can keep going, right? But let's check out the line right up here that's highlighted. I'll put on my metronome again, and let's try this out, okay? I'm gonna dip that down just a little bit more. So let's try this first bar together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So when we're getting faster like this too, we gotta lighten up our touch. Try that much. Can we just loop that? So that's from here to there-ish. Okay, can you see that part that's highlighted? Let's try looping this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. One more time. 1, 2, 3, go. And of course, those third and fourth bars, he's thinking like a D minor pentatonic or an F6. Later on, he uses some blues stuff happening in the same vein. So again, the first line here, he's thinking that 13, moving that down a half step, hitting the flat 13 or the flat 5, and then starting on the sharp 9 of C7 just by dipping down a half step. So that's a really hip trick right there. Right? And all he did was move down a half step. So 13, sharp 9, all hip upper extensions that are happening right there. Cool. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's look into this. So there's just, in this area, there's not really a great place to break. So I'm just going to keep this going. Where this is highlighted right here, he's on this A half diminished, and he's thinking, it appears that he's thinking like an E flat major triad from the flat 5. Back into that C sharp land against this, right on that chord right there. Let's try from right here. So I'm gonna let's play this pickup and get into, let's get to right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I flubbed that up. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, then I went a little bit further, right? But he's outlining all this stuff just beautifully, getting down to the 3rd of F, getting down, making this a dominant 7th chord by dropping that F to get down to the E flat. Cool. Let's try. Can we try this much? See if I can get this in here. It's not really showing up there, is it? The bottom part's not showing up. Hold on. hold on, let me make this a little bit smaller. Let's try from here. What was I just doing? To here. To here is what I mean. So from here to here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, and he just keeps trucking along right there, right? Let's give a listen to this. Now, just to keep everybody in check too, if you start playing this and you're like, hey, that's feeling pretty good, this is where he's playing it. Right? So he's moving. So how do we shed that? We got to practice that by lightening up your touch. So I am alternating in my fingers. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it's, good, but you can't dig in. It's really hard to make that happen. So lighten up your touch. Right. Cool. So let's find another section to shed here. We've gotten down to this line where he's turning the F into an F dominant, but that might be a good place to start our next little loop. Let's take this from here down on into the end and just play it a little. Let's try it a little bit slower, okay? Let me see where I'm at here. Sorry, I'm looking at too many things. So let's try it right here on beat 4. Do the pickup into this F, and then he turns it into an F7. So how about this? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just kind of trucked through that really quick. Some of the key elements, like right here, of course, we just talked about how he's making it an F. He's landing on the 3rd, making it a dominant 7th chord, hitting the 3rd of B flat, making it minor, hitting the C, which is the 5th of F, right? And he's also still thinking that like pentatonic or whatever. He's got this D natural in here. He's going. And now I'm looking right here, right? So one of the slick things that he's really, like, this is really slick and kind of tricky. This has hung me up probably the most out of anything on this solo, is right in here, this area. He does this like slick, really pull off. This is a B flat leading into a B natural. And a pull off when you get to that. Let's listen to it again. I'm gonna slow it down. I know it's a weird loop. Maybe I'll open this up. We're right here. Yeah, so, and of course, you get the CD, find it however, hear the audio, listen to it a bunch to really get that vibe. But let's just play these 4 bars that are looped right here. Okay, so from this D natural. And when he gets to this F, he's sliding up, giving a little bit of funk on that note too, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, cool. Let's try it with the metronome, see how that feels. So that's a bit faster, but let's put it there. Let's try it out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. We could loop even that much. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. So with the pull off, he's sliding. It sounds like he's sliding from this B flat into a B natural. He's hitting that B natural and pulling off to the G string and then plucking it again and then getting to that F. Cool? Nice. Okay, so let's try this out. I want to try the whole first chorus now, if we can do that. And then we're going to move on. Said we're going to move on. All right, so what we're looking at is a lot, and it doesn't really look so super clear around here, does it? Let's see, where are we at? From there to there, if you can see that highlighted, you can up your screen too and check this out, okay? Let's try it out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Cool. And of course, like, we're doing this live right now, but you can always like come back, check out this video later and play that along, or just slow it down the way that I'm doing it now, you know, if this is just too new. But what's really hip to see is a bunch of this altered stuff that he's doing just by thinking a half step above the root. And again, this is like blowing by like pretty fast too. So, okay, let's check this out. Let's check out the next chorus now, all right? I'm gonna blow this up a bit and see if I can make this work. So this is a program, if you're interested, this is a program called Sound Slice that is really pretty cool for being able to play stuff back. I'm gonna loop it around right here. And let's take it to right here, actually. That's a good one. So this is the, oh, don't need 110. This is the second chorus that he's in. Gets into some really interesting moving the phrases across the bar, right? Let's slow that down just a bit. So I think a good way to practice something like that, where you're thinking across the bar line, is to think 1 and 3. Ruben Rogers will talk about like tapping his foot on the back of his heel, right, to feel that. But you can just feel, instead of thinking all 4 beats, and especially instead of trying to think 2 and 4 if you're a foot tapper or whatever, which is totally fine. However anybody does it, as long as it feels good, it's good. But if you're thinking on these terms, it might help to think 1, 3, 1, 3. Let's try this much, and I'll just tap and we'll count that out and won't worry about a metronome right now, okay? Let's try this much that we were just listening to. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how am I feeling that? I'm dividing the bars in like half. I don't know if anybody's like hip to that. I think that's great for like learning how to read. So I'm thinking like 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So 1, 2, ba da, or 1, 3, right? And it just keeps my beat in check while you're doing this. So cool. Let's try it again. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, cool. And then I jumped ahead a little bit there. Let's move into this territory. Check this out. Really hip. He's enclosing into the C, the 5th of the F major chord right here. And a lot of times what you hear in this solo too, and again, go back, check this out, listen to it a bunch, and it'll really reveal itself. It's genius, like all his rhythm that he's doing, all of this really interesting harmonic stuff, but it blows by really quick. So go back, check this out, slow it down if you have the means, or just listen to it a whole bunch. look along with this transcription, and it's gonna blow your mind just like how he's thinking about this so fast and pulling this off. But right into here, this is like the second half of the first half of the second chorus. Check out this real quick. I'm gonna open this up a little bit as he comes back and does more of this. We'll take it to about there. Now, this part is really hard to transcribe, but you can listen to that a bunch. Okay, so let's try this section right here that's highlighted. This is the F turning into F dominant seventh to the 4 chord, to the 1 chord, whatever, 2/5 into the minor. You know, if you know the changes, that'll really help you out here. But let's try this out here, right from where it's highlighted, right here at the F. Here I can make this a little bit bigger if you see it on screen. If you don't like seeing this on screen, click the link downstairs and you can get the PDF for free. Super easy. So, all right, let's try it out. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, right? So that's just a really hip phrase right there. And all of this rhythm is falling super in the pocket too, obviously. Right there. So there's a lot of F going on. Further down the road, he's hitting some more blues, like bluesish lines, you know. But again, this is like blowing by super fast. And it just takes a lot of being able to get that. Let's just try it there if we can. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fact that he's just like Derek is pulling that out just like out of nowhere, so killing. All right, let's move on because I want to get into this. I want to keep going on this solo. This next little bit right here, where he's getting back to the dominant 2 chord. There's some really hipness happening here, and let's let it play through the rest of this second chorus. So we're on the second chorus. We're looking at measures 51 into the end of the second page. It's on the PDF down here. Okay, so let's let this roll for a minute. So hip to hear how Wilbur Miller is comping behind this solo too. He's engaged, you know what I mean? Like he's not just chilling. There's a lot of fun rhythm going on. Kareem on the brushes, super supportive. I'm gonna let this play at regular speed again. We'll slow it down. A little bit more on the regular human speed. Let's talk through this section right here a little bit too, okay? Whew, so hip. Okay, so he's right in here, he's just using some chromatic stuff and getting to the flat 13, right? Always, you know, always a cool option right here. And then that sharp 9 sound again, like he was doing in the first chorus. So let's try this out. Let's try it from right here. Just read it along with me if you can. And you can always get the PDF just downstairs too. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. hip, even at this speed. It's like, damn, that's just killing. Let's try it again at this speed, okay? Remember to keep it light, because when we speed it up, it needs to have that bounce still, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. One. Right. So I try to include some of he does a lot of like glisses, like sliding into notes, and I tried to include those as best I can. And of course, this is just should really come off the audio more than this transcription, but it should get you in the ballpark of being able to play along with it. So also, anybody that builds up this solo, record it, put it up. Let's see it, you know what I mean? Let's get this in action. Let's try to get it up to speed. So some of the things that I really like in here are like in this area. Right? So he's hitting which is, if you harken back, if you were like, harken back, I never say harken. If you think back to when we were checking out the Israel Crosby lick from But Not For Me, same idea right here. Cool? Awesome. And I really like how he's over here, he's implying like the tritone substitution, hitting these C sharps. He's doing it in just such a hip way, doubling up these notes. Let's see, can we play the same thing? Can we bring it up to speed a little bit? Let's see if we can put it, let's just try it. We're getting warmed up a little bit. This is closer to where the tempo is. Let's try this out. This is 2 and 4. It's at 100 right now, so 200 beats per minute. When you were doing these eighth notes, remember to make them straight. So as you're listening, you'll hear them straighten out. They're not swung super hard. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So if that's cool, you take it up even more. Okay, I like this phrase, so let's bump it up. Let's bump it to 110. So 220. We're getting closer. So you're hearing those straight eights, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's tricky to make that feel good, right? So, but that's part of the beauty. That's part of the genius of this solo. All right, let's get into it. Here we're going to start on the last chorus. Let's just let the whole last chorus play. See what that feels like. We'll do it at speed. So here's this third chorus in. Some of that blues that we were talking about. More that rhythmic, like deception type of stuff. Like a little Ray Brown. Back to vocal solo. Let's just listen here. So he's doing this thing again where he moves up in a half step, just this idea, and I'm looking like right here. So he'll start off playing, and it's written like an eighth note, but it sounds like he's like sliding into it. So he's playing a half step leading into the third of F, which is the key, but right now maybe the chord of the moment, the chord of the moment is like a 2 chord, a dominant 2 chord, but you can apply blues over all of that, right? And so that's exactly what he's doing over this G. Even though it's going 2-5, it's not a big deal. It still works, obviously, right? So let's try this line out. Just how about these first 4 bars right there, okay? If you don't like looking at it at the screen, click the PDF downstairs. You can get it for free, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, and I sang the note that I was gonna play. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Swinging, right? Just even that alone, I mean, that could be a melody in itself, right? So hip. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And so you notice too, inside of this solo, or something that I noticed, it's a lot of upbeats, right? He's not starting a lot of phrases on beat 1. He's moving things around rhythmically, especially when we get here. He's getting really over the bar line. So remember this phrase we just played? Of course you do. And then he moves this up right here in just such a hip fashion. Let's listen from there to there. Bumps out of it really quick, right? Just slowing it down a little bit. So us humans can hear this Derek Hodge. So let's see if we can catch it at like that speed that it was just playing at, like just that much that's highlighted on the screen, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So again, if you're feeling like these big beats, like 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It can help keep all of that in line without having to think all 4 beats, especially at this tempo that he's at. It's just not going to work. Let's try speeding that up. It's the same amount of information right there, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. How about like this? 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Let's do it again. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's starting to get closer to the tempo that he's at. But if you feel those big beats like that, it's going to line up pretty well. All right, now for all of this, where he's doing a lot of anticipation. He's not hitting any downbeats for a while, but he's still catching the chords just beautifully. Let's take it from here to here. Let's see what that sounds like, okay? Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Derek Hodge's solo on If I Were a Bell from Mo Guru Miller's Live at Yoshi's album, Volume 1. It's beautiful. Click the link for the PDF. So when I'm playing this now, it's hard to hear where the beat is, right? He readjusts when we get back here. Let's slow this down just a hair. 3. I know I'm out of sync with this because I'm playing on my computer. But let's try this much, okay? The part that's highlighted here. I know it's a little light, but... So we're starting on the and of 4, and we're just going to play the and of every beat. But he's still playing them long, so it sounds like he's shifting the time. He sounds like he's anticipating the time, right? If he was playing quarter notes, but moving it ahead by an 8th note, right? So let's try it. From right here, we won't do too fast, but think those big beats again, okay? So if we think 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. That's gonna help with that, right? So let's try it. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially when we get to this A that's right here, because that's on a downbeat, right? So let's try it again. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. helps us to realign with where the beat is. Okay, so obviously I'm a big fan of doing that because it's going to help you out. All right, let's try this. Let's try this whole line. Let's just keep trucking on through this. Right. So 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. And he definitely does a big slide up here, and it's hard to see, but you can hear it. Big accent right here. Let's try that line again. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that helps too. If we keep that big beat going as he's moving on into this more syncopated, he just keeps the syncopation going and kills it. It sounds so good. So let's just check this out. We've gotten to the end, so we're on our way. We're going to eventually play the whole thing through, and it's just full of great information. As you hear the solo again, after shedding it, as you know, it just takes on a life of its own. It like means something different as you've investigated these solos a little bit more. All right, so let's look here. Let's look at these. How about this first 4 bars of information? It's all, it's more of this anticipation, right? Even on the and of 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he realigns there, right here on the downbeats, like he's walking again. Let's just listen to this, okay? I know it's going to sound a little funky, and it's slowed down. This is that 8%. So here's this is like compulsion. Blues. Cool. Okay, so let's pick it up from right here. All right, how about we'll start on the and of 4 and get from there until we stop or whatever. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. How about that's a good place to stop right there. So let's go from here. How about to here? The downbeat of beat 1 on the F chord. So he's hitting thirds, lots of thirds. But as all of this is moving, even though he's, playing these anticipations, he's still playing. He's leading into the 3rd here of D. He's leading into the B natural of G right here. He's playing all this harmony. He's not picking random notes like it might appear initially. Do you know what I mean? Same here. He's using this like fourth type of shape, like a McCoyish or anything. Like he's implying these perfect fourths movements. So let's try this again. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. This part is always tricky to me too, how he's doing this. Right, so much rhythm, so much dancing inside of all of this. It's just beautiful, right? Let's try this again, from here to there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And you got to get that in there, right there, to really bring that home, right? I haven't mentioned, but there's a little pull off here on the D string. Pretty sure he's doing it. He's hitting an F and pulling off from that. Right? So let's try it again. Let's try it a little bit faster. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Of course, I've transcribed this. I've been shedding this. If you can't play it at that tempo, it's not a problem. But that's how I'm thinking about it when I'm playing through it. If I'm not playing along with the recording, I'll think those big beats like that. All right, we're so close to the end. Let's check this out. The last 8 bars, and we'll do the whole thing. Listen to it again. It'll have a whole new vibe to it. All right, so let's just play through this. The big things to note here, obviously, he's hitting the root, the 3rd, the root, right? So just a lot of blues inside of there. Even though the chords are kind of change, you know, they're changing, but he's still dropping in these stuff. You hear Ray Brown do that a ton. What do you think? You know, like you've heard stuff like this before, but here it is in action, of course. So let's try it like this tempo. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Now that's really hip to me here, what he's doing. He's hitting beat 4, the big open A. 4 B, da, da, D. He's trying to get to that third, not trying, he's getting to this third on F major, right on time, right on the money. And kind of implying, you know, I have written here an F, but he's kind of already implying an A minor 7 right here into a D7, heading back to the dominant 2 chord for the top, right? But this part is just super hip. He's got these other pull-offs in here, all this extra sauce, you know, on top of the language, on top of this killing rhythm. So good. Let's try this line a little bit more up the tempo. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking line, it goes without saying, his walking line is so killing on all of this stuff. Whole album. And there's 2 volumes too. Just great, great, great stuff. Cool. Let's try it one more time. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you were tapping your foot on beat 1 and 3 too, and I'm kind of doing it loudly right now, I don't know if it's coming through the mics or not, but I'm doing that as an exaggeration right now. But if you're playing an up-tempo like that, and especially in a solo too, if you ever feel like you're getting turned around in your solo, just keep that big beats, the 1 and 3, as your guideposts, and it can really help you out. Cool? All right, so let's try this out. Let's try the whole thing now, can we? So I've got everything in the PDF. It's not going to make a lot of sense to play through, as it is on the screen. So just carry along with me. Let's do a chorus at a time and just play it through. So if you've got the PDF handy, let's work it out. I'm going to set it at 200 beats per minute, and this will be 2 and 4. Okay, so we'll do a chorus at a time. This is the first sheet of the PDF. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kills those last 2. Right, cool. So we're still under tempo, but that's starting to feel a little bit better. Starting to make more sense, right? See how he's getting more active towards that second half of that chorus. Let's look at page 2. This is the second chorus. Okay, if you're looking at this on the PDF, there's a D natural on the 8th note, the end of 4, leading into the top of this. Well, let's try this out, same speed, okay? 1, 2, 1, 3. Some of that really kicks my ass. It's so killing though. Like just all these, he's drumming. I mean, he's playing some really hip rhythms in here and lines, obviously. So hip stuff. Let's move it on the third page, and we'll talk about it a little bit more if you want to. But this is the third chorus, Derek Hodges solo, If I Rebel. Ready? So this is page 3 on the transcription if you're looking at it. I'm thinking 1 and 3. The metronome's clicking 2 and 4, just like a hi-hat. But I'm thinking 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. It's at 100 beats per minute right now, so it's at 200 altogether. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so really just trying to keep that forward motion with the rhythm. It's really easy for me to rush too with 3, 4. Right? That really just, it's hard to feel that. But again, if you're thinking that big 1 and 3, it can help you out in these up-tempo solos. Cool. Excellent. So that was a lot of fun. I'm going to hop in the chat really quick. Let's see what's up. And I'm interested. So if you have any comments, questions, whatever, let me know. Super interested to see what y'all have to say about this. So, all right, cool. Let's see, where was I? A lot of love for Derek Hodge, and there should be, right? So, and let's see, where was that? Where was I at? All right, Roddy, hi from Canada. What's up? Hey, what's up, Damien? Killer transcription. Thank you, man. Yeah, check it out. Some beautiful gold in there. You know what? I mean, honestly, we should give this another listen. Sorry. We need to hear this whole dang thing just really quick again. Now that we've kind of been through it, and I said we were going to, let's do it, all right? So here is the man. This is Derek Hodge doing this, and then I'm going to hop in the chat. Sorry. You can hear that big 1 and 3. So again, the dude is just too bad. That's incredible. Like you take that back up to speed, hear all that again as we've kind of gone through it, like piece by piece, it takes on a whole new meaning, right? You can hear those phrases and keep shedding on this. It's going to open up in different ways. So cool. All right, cool. So just gonna say what's up again. Sorry, I kind of got distracted there. Hey, Prescott, Bob, I fell and broke my ankle. Man, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Edelson, what's up? Hey, good to see you, Edelson. Always cool to see you. Oh, okay. Hey, okay. Hey, Rick, how are you? Good to see you, man. I'm sorry about your ankle, dude. That really sucks. You can't get down to your music studio. Not cool, man. Not cool. Got to get somebody to bring the bass up to you wherever you are. All right, Floyd Church is really happy to see my upright back. I'm sure you're not saying anything about my electric playing or my singing from last week, right? That's just projecting. I know you're not saying that. That's just me. That's all for me. Hey, Dave Shepard, always with some knowledge in here. What's up, Dave? This solo works out the full range of the neck position from open E up to G. Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't really, he's not playing in the stratosphere, and again, that was one of our focuses, in these sessions too, is just keep it inside, in the bass area. And he's definitely playing a lot of bass down in the lower end, right? A little more in the solo area up here as well, but he's not afraid to get down low and play some low notes, right? I think that's great. Embrace the bass, right? George Richardson, what's up, George? Great introduction to Hodge's straight ahead playing. Definitely going to shed this solo. Thanks, Bob. You're most welcome, George. It's so much fun and just inspiring. I mean, you listen to something like this solo and it's just like, damn. All right, I need to stay in the shed for a lot longer, a lot longer. All right. Dudufado, what's up? Good to see you as always, man. Thanks for hanging out. I can't wait to watch this lesson later. I'm at work, so I practice in real time tonight. Right on. Hope everything's good with the practice. If you got any questions later on, I always check these comments out later, so feel free. All right, Damien is like, this is reading a sax solo. Yeah, totally. There's a lot in here, right? This is not a walk-in line. But yeah, so, and then he's doubling back. I'm going to shed this for weeks. Me too. Me too. And it's a thing, you can go back and check this back out too. Hey, what's up, Max? Good to see you as always. This dude takes some killing pictures too. Y'all check his pictures out. Oof. I'm struggling to make just my right hand fingers play at that tempo, even leaving the left hand out of it. Yes, absolutely. Definitely need to shed more up tempo just to get my right hand fingers up to speed. Yeah, and again, I touched on this earlier. He's alternating his fingers and he's not digging in, you know, like he's walking. It sounds like he's digging in on the bass that he's playing. You know, the bass is very hot, but lightening up your touch as much as you can, and really take the time. If you know, if that's something you're interested in, like shedding on, we do this in the Bass All Access Pass over at Open Studio a bunch. We practice things like that, really focusing on right hand, you know, starting slow, but thinking about very specifically what we're doing and how to get faster with it, and then incorporating the left hand. We take it, if you ask anybody in the Bass Access Pass that comes to the Zoom sessions, we focus on our right hand, sound, technique, string crossing, all that good stuff, mix it with left hand, and then bring the two together. And that'll get you closer towards like the speed that he's doing this at. So, yeah, it's a workout for sure. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. What's up, Floyd Shirts again? Katie has Derek on her show. It's definitely worth checking out. Katie's also a great player. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Great job, Bob. Very inspiring. Sweet. Yeah, it's Derek Hodge, man. Can't not be inspired. So, bust a bass. Gonna make me an upright player out of me yet. Yeah, right on, man. Excellent. That's the goal for everybody. We want upright basses in the hands of every you know, man, woman, and child, right? So cool. And Damien, so killer. Yeah, it's just a killing solo and great interplay with the piano too. Yeah, there's a bunch of interaction. We didn't even notice. I didn't even mention that, but yes, Mulgrew is right up there. Like they're you know, sparring on some of that. So yeah. Busta says you can't teach an old bass dog new tricks. Right on, man. Excellent. Glad to hear. So this has been a lot of fun. I know it's a little less shedding, like lesson practice than we normally do, but I always think it's good to check out some solos, and this is one that I've just wanted to do for a while. So thanks for being with me on this. Happy practicing. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let me know. And again, you can check the PDF out downstairs. Hope to see you next week at another Building Blocks of Bass. Again, my name is Bob DeBoo. Happy practicing. Peace. Everybody be well, please. See you soon.